Roxo Media House.
Duggan finds an open target. It's caught. Davis turns it upfield. 40, 30, 20. Count it. 10, 5. Touchdown. 65 yards. Scoring strike. Max Duggan. Darius Davis hit the horn early. Frogs up 6-0 on Kingston.
You are in the State of the Frogs, presented by the Railhead Smokehouse with TCU head coach Sonny Dykes. And also brought to you by Hub Fort Worth, Old Trapper Beef Jerky, Texas Health Resources, and by Cadillac. Now with the coach, here is the voice of the Frogs, Brian Esterridge.
State of the Frog starts right now with the head coach Sonny Dykes live from his office. The Horned Frogs sitting at number 7 in the country. 7-0 right now is TCU off that impressive come-from-behind victory against Kansas State. We'll talk about that matchup here today. Also look ahead a little bit to the next one for the Horned Frogs on the road in Morgantown against West Virginia. First, so the head coach is alongside to talk about this one. Another exciting comeback. You get down by 18 at one point, come storming back in this one.
Yeah, guys hung in there well and battled back. We got, very similar to the Oklahoma State game. They came out firing. They had an open date, did a lot of things different than they had in the past to give our defense some troubles. And, our guys did a great job reacting and responding. We got in at halftime. We were able to kind of calm everybody down and come out and play the second half like we thought we could. And, again, real credit to our players for just continuing to believe and continuing to play hard and do their job and not try to do too much. And it was a great lesson again, just about how important it is to to have the right kind of mentality and right mindset. So, big win for us against a good football team, and we're just proud of our players.
You talk about the fact that your team didn't flinch or anything. Again, it's kind of a broken record from last week, but once again, your offensive staff didn't shy away from the game plan either. Even though you got down, you were still super balanced throughout, run and pass.
Yeah. To me, the most important drive probably was the end of the first half.
Yes.
Putting together that 91-yard drive, I think, was really critical to getting a little bit of momentum back, getting a little confidence. The last couple of minutes of the half and the first couple of minutes of the second half are always real important, and so it was great for us to have that long drive and then come out in the second half and have a long drive as well, and make up 14 points right there, which we needed to cut into their lead. And once we were able to do that, really changed the game. I think put some pressure on them and then our defense settled in, and we got to play against the typical Kansas State offense. Yeah. It wasn't a bunch of new things and things that they had put in over the open date. So, we got to do a better job of starting games. Obviously, that's something we got to improve on, and certainly can't continue to come back every week. But again, proud of our players for doing it.
You think about that last drive before the half. That's a perfect example. I think it was 5 run, 5 pass. Wasn't a 10-play drive that was super balanced. Where again, used the clock wisely, took your time. But Max Duggan, I thought, was really in control in that drive.
Yeah. To me, I think that's when we started to play with a little bit of confidence and just do a better job of executing. I think sometimes you have a tendency to press maybe early in games. Had a good opening drive to start the game, obviously with a big pass to Darius and the touchdown. But then, once we got settled in, we played better, and that, as you said, was a big drive. And to me, it was kind of the same thing as last week. I mean, our ability to run the ball allowed us to come back. And as the game went on, I think, again, our offensive front started to take over. The offensive line really started to play well, and we were able to run it when we wanted to. And I think that was a big part of being able to come back and win the game.
Yeah, after being down at that point, you talk about that score there before halftime. You outscore them 28-0. You hold them scoreless on their final 7 offensive possessions. To me, the big number that stands out was the total yards after that point was like 349 to 87.
Yeah. Again, great defensive performance in the second half of that game this week. I think our team gets stronger as the game goes along, and that's a real credit to their work ethic and what they've done, and the way they bought into our program and all the stuff that's part of it, from nutrition to rest and hydration to all those things that make you better in the second half.
And by the way, you kind of had to play Kansas State at their own game, too, and beat them at it. You won the turnover battle. You won the time of possession. Third down conversions were great. You had fewer penalty yards than they did. You outrush Kansas State. I mean, that's hard to do.
Yeah, it is. That's winning football. I mean, that's been our thing all year is, hey, look, let's just figure out a way to win. Sometimes you got to go out and throw for 400, and other times you can do it different. And to our credit, we've been able to find ways to win ball games. And, for us, it comes down to winning that turnover battle every single week. I think if we can do that with our defensive front and our offensive front, those two being a strength of our team, that gives you a chance to win every single week when you can run the ball and you can stop the other team from running it and you can win the turnovers.
Let's talk about this gauntlet, too, now. 4 straight ranked opponents. Coach, put that in perspective. There was a stretch from 1966 to 1981, 15 years, where the Frogs had 1 win over a ranked opponent. You've done it 4 weeks in a row now.
Yeah, again, credit to our players. I mean, those guys are we got a lot of good players, and they're playing good. They're playing well. They're playing with a lot of confidence, playing together. I think that's been one thing that's been fun to see is, our team does a great job of playing off of each other. When we get stops defensively, it seems like the offense always goes and scores, and when those guys start to play well on offense, our defense really goes, picks it up and starts to play as well. So it's, it's fun. It's complimentary football, and right now, we've played well against good football teams. I mean, you go back and you look at the teams we played against. I mean, Oklahoma's starting to kind of come back and be Oklahoma. Kansas is a very good football team. They're going to win their share of games. And, the 2 wins the last 2 weeks against Oklahoma State and Kansas State, those are 2 good football teams. And, I think they're both top 20 teams, and teams are going to have a lot of success this season.
Yeah, 38-28 the final score. Let's take a look at how this one came about now with some highlights from this matchup. Obviously, a beautiful night in Fort Worth, full house here for this one. And we talk about the fast start. You did kind of start fast. Darius Davis here on the 65-yard pass from Duggan.
Yeah, we ran a little mesh route and caught him in 2-man, and Darius made a nice play, got up the sideline, and used his speed, and Max did a good job. Our pass protection most of the night was good. We had a couple of sacks, but a lot of those were covered sacks when guys were covered and we kind of got flushed and threw the ball away. So, again, you got to give our offensive line a ton of credit. I think they performed well, certainly performed well in this play, and allowed, Max and Darius to do their thing.
Kansas State gets on the board. Cade Warner here with a 28-yard touchdown reception. By the way, he's the son of Kurt Warner. He had a pretty good game.
He did. Yeah, he did. He had a really good game. It was a heck of a play. Did a good job, wrestling the ball away and made a heck of a catch.
Griffin Kale adds a field goal here from 43 yards out, so it makes it 10-7 at this point. And then all of a sudden Kansas State gets in a little bit of a rhythm. Howard comes in, and he scores here from a yard out, but it was the impressive way that he stepped in relief here.
Yeah, I thought he really played well. He's got a lot of experience. He's played a lot of football, and as a kid that really threw the ball well. And I think that probably they went to a little bit more of a passing attack when he got in the game and got us on our heels a little bit. And did some nice jobs getting some matchups and made some plays off of it. So, it's one of those things where, they had a bunch of time to put some new things in and did a good job getting us on our heels and made some plays.
Similar to your roster, too, they've got several tight ends who can play. Wheeler catches this touchdown pass for their third touchdown reception, I should say, of the first half here. This puts them up. They got some tight ends that can play. Yeah,
they do. A bunch of guys. They're kind of built that way. Built as a 12 personnel team, and played some 12 and 13 personnel where 3 of them were on the field at once. And that's kind of fits into their mold of what they want to do, be able to run the football and be physical.
Deuce Vaughn is a weapon for him. 47-yard score here. They go up 28-10.
Yeah. This is when they had a ton of momentum. A heck of a run by Deuce, and they did a nice job here scheming this up and got in the open field, and we were a little bit late getting the fit down to safety and linebacker, and they made a nice play.
Then this is the 10-play, 91-yard drive now for the Horned Frogs. Right before the half, you talked about it being the key one. You closed it out with a 4-yard touchdown pass to the tight end, Jared Wiley, who I thought had a great day.
Yeah, Jared's really continuing to get better and better, playing with confidence. I think Max is really starting to see him as a weapon, and we're starting to utilize him a little bit more. And when you play a team like Kansas State that really wants to take the run game away from you, and they're going to play aggressive with their linebackers and safeties, their safeties were 6 yards a lot of times and really getting in the box to stop the run, and that allows you to get the tight end behind him some, and Jared had a big game.
I love that play call, too, by the way, when you get him involved in it. It's hard to defend him. 10, 6,
it is. Like I said earlier, especially when you're running the ball like we are, those guys have got to get, playing downhill, and when that happens, then you can sneak tight ends through the middle of the field.
Then it was kind of like the old NBA 2-for-1 here. You had the football at the end of the first half. You get it to start the second, and you're able to punch it in. Kendre Miller finds the end zone.
Yeah, it was big. For us, the wind being the way that it was, we elected to defer, which typically will take the ball depending on the conditions. And we got the wind in the first quarter, which I think allowed us to get off to a fast start, and they did a good job in the second quarter when they had the wind of scoring a bunch of points and really getting on a roll. But we had the ball and the wind starting the third quarter, and when we were really successful when we had that.
Miller's was the first of 2 touchdowns in the third quarter. Quentin Johnston here, the 55-yarder from Max Duggan. That one with the wind behind him, you could tell the wind was playing a role in that one. Quentin had to wait on it a bit.
Yeah. Quentin just ran past the corner right there. He did a great job releasing. You see the corner tripped a little bit, and Quentin just was Quentin. Went up and got the ball, made a heck of a play. Max did a good job. Threw it a little bit further than we wanted to have to throw it. That's a long throw, but but a heck of a throw and a heck of a play.
Yeah, and then Kendra Miller finishes it off with this 9-yard run. And by the way, we didn't spend enough time on Kendra's earlier touchdown, the second effort, the third effort, the fourth effort, whatever it was. He would have had the first down, but gets the score anyway.
Yeah. I mean, Kendra's really playing strong, really playing physical, does a great job finishing runs. Got great balance. I mean, he's just a really effective running back. I think he's certainly one of the best running backs in the country right now, and week in, week out. You can count on him to deliver.
Yeah, 38-28 ends up being your final score. By the way, pretty good atmosphere
man.
out in all black for everybody. Huh?
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, it was a great atmosphere. It was a lot of fun to be here. You could tell, again, same thing. The fans really got into the game in the third quarter. It energized our players, and I thought that was a big part of the game. It was just the fans and the support that we all felt. It was a great environment and a beautiful night and a super night for football.
All right, 7-0 are the Horned Frogs. Now turn their attention to West Virginia. Coach is going to be back a little bit later on to talk about them. But first, coming up after the break, we got our What's Your Beef question of the week with Coach Sonny Dykes. When we continue with State of the Frogs after this timeout.
The Hub Fort Worth family is a passionate, energetic team of insurance professionals that have the same common goal in mind: helping businesses and individuals protect their health, property, and financial well-being. Their objective is to maximize the options available to businesses, families, and individuals while helping you make the choices that suit each unique situation and challenge. Their clients look to them for guidance in navigating the cumbersome world of insurance and investments. Their experience and personal relationships combined with their creativity enables them to craft solutions that fit your specific circumstances. Their guiding principle is, don't tell me how much you know, just show me how much you care. Since their founding in 1966, they've enhanced their offerings to include a comprehensive range of services, including employee benefits, property and casualty, and personal lines insurance. Follow them and learn more on their social media pages. You can find them on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn at Hub Fort Worth.
Old Trapper Beefs. One-upping.
I'm a big Old Trapper fan. Not bigger than me. I love Old Trapper. I love how tender it is. Don't forget the wood smoke flavor.
What about the clear bag?
That shows you exactly what you're getting.
Savory beef.
Quality ingredients. I'm their biggest fan. I'm their
Old Trapper, what's your beef? The official beef jerky of the Big 12.
Will you sign my bag and my tattoo?
For exclusive interviews and content on TCU recruits, subscribe now at frogstoday.com. Any sport, anytime. It's your source for all things TCU. Only on frogstoday.com. State of the Frogs continues now thanks to our friends at Old Trapper. It's our What's Your Beef question of the week. And this week's question comes from Dawson in New York. Dawson, what do you got for us?
Hey, Sonny Dykes. This is Dawson from New York. Got a question for you. On a scale from 1 to 10, how cool is that Hypnotoad hoodie?
All right, he's put you on the spot, Coach. 1 to 10, how cool is that Hypnotoad pullover? You had it on the other night.
Yeah, it's about a 12, I would say. The whole Hypnotoad thing is it's pretty hot right now. It's the thing. I said somebody told me all hail to the Hypnotoad.
That's
so
right.
It's the way it is. And it was we got them for our players. It was a big surprise. Gave them to those guys, I think, on Friday. And it seems to be really popular.
I tell you what, the uniforms, by the way, Saturday night looked good as well. Did you like that?
They
look?
did. Yeah. The all black is awesome, and the blackout was great, and fun atmosphere.
All right, that's your question of the week. It's brought to you by Old Trapper on the What's Your Beef. Coming up next, it's our one-play breakdown with Coach David Bowden. We'll do that next after this timeout on State of the Frogs.
Old Trapper Beefs. One-upping.
I'm a big Old Trapper fan. Not bigger than me. I love Old Trapper. I love how tender it is. Don't forget the wood smoke flavor.
What about the clear bag?
That shows you exactly what you're getting.
Savory beef.
Quality ingredients. I'm their biggest fan. I'm their
Old Trapper, what's your beef? The official beef jerky of the Big 12.
Will you sign my bag and my tattoo?
Hello everyone, this is Chauncey Franks. There's a lot of great ministry activities and impact that are happening here on campus. I want to share with you an opportunity that you can partner with us. A little bit over a year ago, my wife started a nonprofit called the Court Ministry. We are 7 minutes from campus. We wanted a place where we can invest in the lives of TCU students and students throughout the city of Fort Worth. And so the Court Ministry, we brought back to life an abandoned tennis court. It has a purple surface, and throughout this summer, the TCU students' lives were impacted there. Now we're in the process in raising funds to build an impact house. It's right next to the tennis court. We will utilize that space to pour into the students, to feed them, to hang out, to mentor, and disciple them. I want to encourage you, would you consider and prayerfully consider partnering with us to help us raise $250,000 that we can build this impact house that's going to touch the lives of many TCU students for years to come and young adults throughout the city of Fort Worth.
Simply the best barbecue in Fort Worth. Dine in, catering, or drive-through. 2900 Montgomery, just off I-30. Remember, the best barbecue in Fort Worth is at Railhead Smokehouse.
The Flying T Club provides the everyday TCU fan and alum the ability to specifically support TCU student athletes. Flying T Club offers 3 levels of memberships. The Flying T Club is a nonprofit organization supporting the brand development of TCU student athletes through a series of unique event-based networking opportunities, which are exclusive to our members. These events provide a great social engagement tool for our members and student athletes alike. Follow them on Instagram at Flying T Club or online at flyingtclub.com.
Texas-based Happy Water offers the best tasting sugar-free kids drink ever made. Happy Water comes in 4 delicious flavors that you can find at local retailers and on Amazon. Each pouch contains 0 grams of sugar, 0 calories, and 0% juice. Head to happydrinks.com for more information and to purchase Happy Water. That's HAPIdrinks.com. Live happy, be happy, drink happy.
State of the Frogs rolls on now here. Time for our one-play breakdown. Back to the Flying T Club studio we go. And that's where Coach David Bowden is standing by. All right, Coach, I want to talk about that last drive before the first half comes to an end. 10-play drive, 91 yards. Frogs had to score there. But that last play, the touchdown throw to Jared Wiley, he was wide open. Scheme this one up for me, man.
Yeah, Brian. So really it all started with Quentin Johnson. Obviously he commands a lot of attention. And as soon as he went in motion, Max Duggan was under center. And Quentin goes in motion. That caused linebackers to flow over the top. And everyone's running it to take that away. And really, the Frogs had set this up all year. They've set the table by constantly running the jet sweep. Quentin was on the receiving end of that quite a bit. So they fake it to him at first. They then fake it to Amari DiMarcardo here. He pops back out. But the reason, to get to your question, the reason why Jared Wiley, who's here at tight end, is so open, he's done a really nice job of this. He fakes the block, so these guys get over the top as well. He goes up, he's blocking for jet sweep. He does a nice job sinking his hips and then slipping them right at the last second, and Max was able to deliver the ball there. So you've got the entire line of scrimmage moving this way. You got the fake jet sweep, fake zone, which they run quite a bit in the actual run, and then Max sits back here and delivers a perfect ball. And this is a huge turnover, turn of events, as you know, to get this one right before the half.
Okay, not only was Wiley open, Max had all kinds of time there. Offensive line looked like they did a terrific job protecting him there. Give me some sense of what was going on up front.
Yeah, it's a good point. Max did have all kinds of time, and the reason is because even though you have all those fakes, you have all these things going on, it's all built into the protection. So as they're selling this jet fake to the left, they actually have protection to this gap to the left. Everybody has a gap over. So they're responsible there. They take care of that. They don't want to cut this one loose, so they keep the right tackle over here. Coker stays on the end. So now they don't have a free release or a free runner at the quarterback, so that's taken care of. And even the fake to Amari, he now has that gap. So as you can see, he takes care of the C gap. Amari has the B gap, and everyone else, this is A, and all the way down, they take care of that. So, even though you have a bunch of play fakes, you have all kinds of stuff going on, all kinds of eye candy in the backfield, you still want to make sure you take care of the quarterback. The Frogs do here. You combine that with the effort from Jarrett Wiley, and he's just starting to roll as well, and you get a big-time touchdown. They come back in the second half, and they get one right out the gate in the third quarter as well. But this was certainly a big momentum swing for the Frogs.
All right, good stuff as always there from Coach David Bowden back at our Flying T Club studios. When we continue with State of the Frogs, Coach Dykes will be back alongside. We'll start to break down the West Virginia Mountaineers next up for TCU on Saturday at 11 o'clock. We'll get to that after we get to this.
simply the best barbecue in Fort Worth. Dine in, catering, or drive-through. 2900 Montgomery, just off I-30. Remember, the best barbecue in Fort Worth is at Railhead Smokehouse. Say hello to the water of tomorrow. Richard's Rainwater. Richard's Rainwater is 100% rain, refreshing, renewable, and the only ingredient we use in our water. Why rain? Because everyone deserves access to clean water, and rain is a 100% renewable resource available everywhere. Drink the rain. Save the planet. Shop now at richardsrainwater.com.
Old Trapper Beefs. One-upping.
I'm a big Old Trapper fan. Not bigger than me. I love Old Trapper. I love how tender it is. Don't forget the wood smoke flavor.
What about the clear bag?
That shows you exactly what you're getting.
Savory beef.
Quality ingredients. I'm their biggest fan. I'm their
Old Trapper, what's your beef? The official beef jerky of the Big 12.
Will you sign my bag and my tattoo?
State of the Frogs rolls on with the head coach Sonny Dykes now as he turns his attention to the West Virginia Mountaineers. Coach Neil Brown there. This has been a tough year for Neil. Had to go on the road last week to Texas Tech. We know how difficult that can be in Lubbock. And it has kind of been the story, if you look around the Big 12, it's, how your quarterback goes almost, so goes your team this year.
Yeah, West Virginia is a very talented team. Got a lot of speed, got a lot of plays, guys that can make plays offensively. JT Daniels obviously is a quarterback that's been around. He's played a lot of football, a lot of different places, and been successful. And so, they've been a team that didn't play particularly well last week, but they beat Baylor the week before, had a great win at home. I think that they're one of those teams that plays really, really well at home and has struggled so far on the road. But, they're a very dangerous football team. We've got a lot of respect for them. They're going to play hard, and a lot of things that they do from a scheme standpoint give you problems.
Yeah, and coming into the year defensively, everyone had been kind of talking and focused on that defensive line. And early on, they were solid. A little bit banged up, but they've got some experience and some depth there. They're still solid at defense.
Oh, yeah, they are. No, they got guys that can run. Yeah. A couple of defensive linemen that are problems. Guys play physical, really play hard. They're going to play tough. That's kind of a trademark of West Virginia football is they're going to come after you and they're going to try to bully you and play tough, and they got a defensive line that can do that.
All right, give me some sense, because Neil's sort of out of that Texas Tech system a little bit. Does that make things difficult as far as, hey, you kind of know each other in a lot of respects?
Yeah. Neil, actually, I coached Neil at Kentucky. He was a wide receiver, and I was the receiver coach at Kentucky, so we've known each other for a long time, known him since he was probably 17, 18 years old. And so we certainly go way back, and Neil's a very smart guy. I think that he's been really successful as a head coach, did a great job at Troy, really did a great job as an offensive coordinator at a bunch of different places. And Neil knows football, and as I said, Neil's smart, and his team will always be well prepared.
Yeah, and you talked about how much better they are on the road. Crazy things can happen in Morgantown. You get the 12 noon kick, though, which is a better thing, I think.
Yeah, I think playing early on the road is always good. You'd like to get up and play. I think that's always a positive when you can do that. It's good. It helps you the next game, too. You don't get home at 6 o'clock in the morning. It helps you get some rest when you get back at a decent hour and you get a good night's sleep. But Morgantown's Morgantown, man. It's a tough place to play. They've got a great home record. It's been very difficult for teams in the Big 12 to win there historically.
Yeah. Health-wise, how's your group this week?
Good. It's a physical game Saturday. We're a little banged up, but we had a heck of a practice on Sunday, and everybody had a great attitude. And I keep waiting for us to show up and not have that spark that we've had and not have the juice. But guys brought it yesterday. We had a great day. Everybody was really positive and upbeat, and we got a lot done. So it was a great way to start the week, and we'll see where we go from there.
Have you been to Morgantown?
It's the first time I've never been. So
okay.
This will be it for me.
All right. Good luck.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Looking forward to it.
It's going to be fun. That's for sure. Coach Sonny Dykes alongside. That's this edition of State of the Frogs live from Coach Dykes' office. We got another edition next week. Obviously, we'll have highlights of the Frogs and the West Virginia Mountaineers. Start to preview Texas Tech as well. Right now, though, all focus on Morgantown on Saturday. It is an 11 a.m. kick here Central Time for the Frogs. We'll be back with highlights next week for State of the Frogs. For the coach, I'm Brian Evans. Thanks for joining us.
Roxo Media House.